Senator from Arkansas.
The state of Israel is facing the deadliest threat to its existence in a generation. To its south, Israel is waging a war of survival against Hamas terrorists who slaughtered 1,200 Israelis and abducted more than 250 men, women, and children. To its north, Hezbollah, the most armed terrorist organization in the world, is menacing Israeli towns and forcing tens of thousands to flee their homes. And just last month, Iran launched more than 300 ballistic missiles and attack drones at Israel, for the first time attacking the Jewish state from Iranian territory. Outlaw rebels and brigands in Yemen are also firing missiles and drones at Israeli and allied shipping, to include U.S. naval vessels. As Israel is under siege at home, it's also under diplomatic assault abroad from Hamas's proxies at the United Nations, the International Criminal Court, and even American college campuses. Joe Biden's allies on Capitol Hill have grown increasingly hostile as well. The Majority Leader and former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, called for the removal of Benjamin Netanyahu from power. The Majority Leader said that Israel needs new elections. I think New York may need new elections. Senator Bernie Sanders said that we should, quote, not send another nickel for Netanyahu, while Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez supports a bill that would strip the tax-exempt status of pro-Israel charities. That's bad enough, but unfortunately, instead of backing our Israeli friends to the hilt in this moment of maximum danger, the Biden administration has sanctioned Israelis, condemned its military, and second-guessed it, while trying to undermine its democratically elected leader. 2 weeks ago, Joe Biden went a step further, halting the shipment of bombs and precision-guided bomb kits that Israel needs to limit civilian casualties and destroy Hamas strongholds inside of Rafah, and for that matter, to free hostages, including American citizens. The president also announced that he will withhold additional offensive weapons to Israel if Israel targets Hamas in Rafah, as if there were much difference between offensive and defensive weapons when Israel is surrounded on all sides by mortal enemies. Joe Biden is instituting a de facto arms embargo on Israel that will save Hamas. The reason appears to be simple. He wants to appease a small minority of pro-Hamas voters in his own party in critical swing states he believes are necessary for his reelection. That's why I've partnered with Congressman Ken Calvert to pass the Israel Security Assistance and Support Act, which would reverse Joe Biden's arms embargo on our ally. This legislation simply requires the prompt delivery of all weapon shipments approved by Congress. It also withholds pay from any Department of State or defense bureaucrat who withholds vital military aid from Israel. Earlier last week, the House did its part and passed the Israel Security Assistance Support Act with a bipartisan majority that included over a dozen Democrats. Now it's the Senate turn. Therefore, Mr. President, as if in legislative session, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of calendar number 398, H.R. 8369. I further ask that the bill be considered, read a third time, and passed, and that the motion to reconsider be considered, made, and laid upon the table.
In my capacity as Senator from Vermont, I object.
I regret that the Democrats will not allow this bill to come up for a vote, which again would simply ensure that aid that Congress has approved is delivered promptly to Israel in the middle of a shooting war of survival, a bill that I would remind everyone passed the House of Representatives with a bipartisan majority. The time is now to reverse Joe Biden's de facto arms embargo on Israel. I yield the floor.